name is Fred Baumer. I am a neighbor and friend of the Ho family with our family for many, many years. We gather today here in Minneapolis and live stream all around the world to celebrate a life of Fred Chung-Man Ho, husband, father, PhD engineer, chef, artist, woodworker, Tai Chi teacher. We'll hear from Fred's sister, Tai Chi friends, a longtime family friend, and Fred's daughter. And harpist Lori Lee will play portions of some of Fred's favorite songs between each of these sharings. All about how Fred has brought light into our lives. His sister Jadie flew in from Vienna and spent several hours with Fred before he died. She will share with us first in Chinese and then in English translation the poetic remembrance of college friend Moon, nuclear physicist by trade but poet by nature. His poetry is on the back of your program. And then remembrances from one of Fred's brothers and sisters.
Roar as hot as a tempest may. Snow swallows the sleeves of his coat. The traveler resolutely presses on, a course to stay, a course to stay. Sorrows of an eventual farewell tale, compared with the long-lived joyful parade. Through Tai Chi practice, he rendered tender and earnest spirits. Uniting yin and yang, he instilled noble merits of love and kindness. Love and kindness. Now, facing a formidable storm we must brave. Lo, raking the gust, stood an unyielding grass blade. Behold, concluding a struggle, will a fearless statue prevail. So, 何仲偉深有感觸而接着記調如下 Fred's brother, Michael, in deep sorrow continues the song. 憶忘弟 in remembrance of the brother. 江風烈，征人席捲征蒲雪，征蒲雪，舊歲逢迎，來年何缺。 陰陽太極剛柔前，手足連心情如鐵，情如鐵，勁草依然，斯文而竭。現在係一個白話文嘅演繹。強風凜冽，遊子精人的衣服鋪滿着雪，歡樂的舊事隨風而逝，留下的是訣別和永遠的思憶。像太極的陰陽和剛柔互濟，我們肩並肩的兄弟情誼，像鐵一樣堅強。烈風依然吹着，勁草堅挺依然，但弟弟太疲倦了，我們讓他好好休息一會。The strong wind is blowing, and the wondrous coat is covered with snow. The old happy happenings are blown away in the wind, and what is left is a world of feather and forever memory. Like Tai Chi balancing yin and yang as brothers, we are holding firmly together shoulder to shoulder like iron. The wind is still blowing fiercely, but the feeble grass still stood firm. I know, my brother, you are tired. Reluctantly, we have to let you to take a peaceful rest. 最後，我借何玉儀的結語。Lastly, I will borrow Paul玉儀 his sister's words. 不思量，自難忘，走得太快，未能一同滴足清溪，喝杯清茶淡酒，細數餘恩往事。Although try not to recall, but memories keep coming. Going too fast, no longer have time to sit together along a stream, over a cup of tea or wine, pouring out our hearts to each other of those old faded memories. Gone is the earthly body, but my dear brother, my dear friend, you live in our hearts forever.
As an engineer, always curious and creative, Fred appreciated how the Hubble and Webb telescopes probed unfathomable darkness to reveal the brilliant light of an ever-expanding universe. Through Tai Chi, Fred also explored the brilliant inner light, the inner light that is universal in each one of us. Here to share their memories are Fred's Tai Chi friends, David Gorelick and Professor Ruth Ann Kurth-Shea. Ruth Ann will first share a tribute and poem read by Marilyn Alyssum, founder and director of the Talopa Tai Chi Qigong Center, located here in Minneapolis and in Maui, Hawaii.
First, a tribute from Marilyn, who is with us in spirit in Maui. She writes, I initially met Fred at my Asian art gallery, where at that time we were featuring the exquisite brush paintings of my renowned teacher and friend, Peter Mo Wu. It was there that Fred began his Taiji journey with me, and he quickly became immersed in the practice with great enthusiasm. His dedication into deepening his understanding of this internal art led him to become a beloved staff instructor in Tilopa Taiji Qigong Center. When COVID came in 2020, this event forced us to close in-person classes. We both continued to do our best in serving the Taiji community. Our gift of friendship, our shared commitment to helping anyone that wanted to learn, was a treasured gift of friendship that is beyond what words can convey. His smiling presence and encouragement, mixed with his jovial spirit, greeted all who came to learn. This poem is offered in sweet remembrance of my dear friend, who embraced his family and his life fully with a happy heart. I will be forever grateful for the years I spent teaching Tai Chi with Fred. And now, in Marilyn's words and her own voice.
Tai Chi. In this story poem of movement, we listen to the universal spirit. In this story poem of breath, we attune to the single thread that unites all. It tells of the rich, varied vastness of the universal Tao creation. It tells of the simplicity of the One. If we bring our attention wholeheartedly to the eye center and still our mind with the sword of devotion, we will begin the journey of Tao to our true home. In this story poem of movement is hidden an ancient map of cultivating the Qi. In this story poem of surrender, if we listen to the ancient wisdom of the true adepts, we are given a treasure house of calmness, a pearl of clarity, a wave of ceaseless joy.
Our dear friend Fred was one of the most remarkable people I have ever met. He was as much an inspiration for me as a fellow Tai Chi student or teacher. His uncommonly good and gracious character calls out and compels me to reflect on how I might better conduct myself through this life. Fred took in the world through his big, open heart with childlike curiosity and wonder, and he shared his enthusiasms lovingly with gusto and warmth. I was awed by his radical capacity to embrace life even as it unfolded these last few months, while reminding us the world is wonderful, that life is beautiful. What an incredible, radiant spirit. Fred was beautiful. His essence was generosity. In 2012, when I was between careers, he invited me to his family's home so he could teach me some Tai Chi techniques he had been working on. Truth be told, I was as happy to hang with Fred as practice Tai Chi. We drink his signature fresh roasted coffee and nosh, catch up a bit and practice push hands. He'd show me videos and books that inspired his practice and serve me delicious soup that he had just made. Then we'd practice some more after lunch, and he wouldn't want me to leave the home without a bottle of his favorite ale. One day I told him my lawnmower bit the dust when I hit a rock while mowing. He said, "No problem. I'm buying a new riding mower and I'll give you my Honda lawnmower. It's only a year or two old. I researched it well. It's one of the best made." Fred refused any payment for it, and I still use that mower today, ever thankful for his kindness. Fred was a fountain, a bubbling well of optimism and generosity. I will forever be grateful for the precious gift of knowing him. Thank you, Martha, for giving me this opportunity to help celebrate Fred today. May his memory continue the blessing that he has been for all of us.
Now a tribute from my heart and spirit. I will be forever grateful for the years that I spent teaching Taiji with Fred. Although our approaches were quite different, truly we shared our dedication to the Taiji form and all that it represents, our love for the students, and our joy at the many opportunities to learn and grow the teaching of words. And so I would like to dedicate to Fred a passage that I believe captures the essence of teaching. In her book, On Beauty and Being Just, Elaine Scarry writes, "This willingness to continually revise one's own location in order to place oneself in the path of beauty is the basic impulse underlying education. One submits oneself to other minds, our teachers, in order to increase the chance that one will be looking in the right direction when a comet makes its sweep through a certain patch of sky." Fred, not only through his teaching, but also through a myriad of day-to-day interactions with family, friends, and fortunate others, placed us all in the path of beauty, so much so that he was destined to leave us at a time of great beauty, full moon rising on a deep winter's night, bringing light into the darkness. Now, as we chart our paths forward, perhaps we might take a moment upon the rising of each full moon to celebrate again the gifts of learning, love, joy, and light that Fred brought into our lives.
Fred met the love of his life, Martha Cox, while getting his doctorate at Iowa State University, and in 1983, they were married. The maid of honor of that ceremony was Kim Norris, who is here today from Portland, Oregon, to tell the story of a relationship that not only grew brighter over 4 decades, a relationship whose light is shared with all of us here.
This particular story of Fred starts at Iowa State University over 40 years ago when I met Martha in a history class. Very soon thereafter, I met Fred cracking wise in a library office of Dennis Wendell, from whom Matthew gets his middle name. When I found out Fred was a double PhD candidate in statistics and industrial engineering, no less, I wasn't quite sure I believed it. The guy was just too relaxed for that to be true. It was Tai Chi even then. You see, Mart and I became roommates for our graduating year which meant I saw a lot of Fred. He was always in good humor, always joking around, and never studied as far as I could tell. The fact that our apartment was infested with cockroaches, for example, simply gave Fred more fodder for hilarity, like the time he surprised us by drawing mini roaches all over a cereal box, changing a C into a G, and making buckwheats, B-U-C, into bug-wheats. Thanks, Fred. And I just realized this transition is pretty awful, but here we go. We enjoyed many fine meals prepared by Fred. Sorry about that. Anyhow, that's something everyone here no doubt has in common. And many a party with students from all over the world, parties where Mart would eventually fall asleep and Fred would continue merrily holding court. During these good old days, Fred also somehow found himself time to teach himself how to paint beautiful Chinese landscapes, like the beautiful things you've seen in the hallway here. And he also taught himself to play the guitar. Now, mind you, this is all while he's getting a double PhD in statistics and industrial engineering. Here was this dear friend, so generous, so funny, and with boundless talent. I knew then, this is a person that if you are very, very lucky, you meet once in your lifetime. The stories of the Iowa State days are endless, which is appropriate because so became the friendship. In 1983, I attended Mart and Fred's wedding as maid of honor. Not so long after that, we found ourselves living in close proximity, somehow, in California. These were Mart's med school years, and Fred worked at GE, a 90-minute commute one way. He would get up at 0:30, head for work, and on the return home, stop for groceries so he could cook dinner. And in typical Fred fashion, he was happy to do it all. It was during these years that Matthew was born, and once Mart finished med school, the family purchased a home on the appropriately named Rainbow Drive, so Fred could be a wee bit closer to work. The memories from that time are so joyful. Mart and Fred hosting holiday meals for their growing number of friends from near and far. Fred simultaneously cooking and participating in the festivities, which I could never figure out how he did, just like the double PhD without studying. And of course, Fred on the guitar after meals and games. He loved a good folk song sing-along, and he particularly loved Puff the Magic Dragon. In 2010, toward the end of a cross-country road trip from our home in Portland, Oregon, my husband and I at long last got to visit Mart and Fred in their Eden Prairie home. And we basically moved in for a week. Not planned, mind you. We were just enjoying the family's company so much, we didn't want to leave. Every morning, even though Fred had never met my husband before this trip, the two of them would be engrossed in some new topic, often involving the latest gadget or Costco. It was during one of these mornings that Fred revealed he roasted his own coffee beans, something we all know here about too. My husband was blown away. No wonder the coffee we'd been drinking was so fabulous. So Fred, generous as always, gave him a crash course in where to buy the beans, a place in Portland no less, what type of roaster to buy, and tips about how to roast. The lesson was not lost. From that time until this day, my husband roasts our beans himself, and each morning we have our coffee, we remember to thank Fred, that person who, if you are very, very lucky, you meet once in your lifetime.
A light can be used to lead, a light can be used to guide. Matthew, Christian, and Mark had no better guide than their dad when it came to life's values. I had the joy of biking with Martha and Fred last summer in France and Germany, and sitting with Fred at table, who always ordered the most unique thing on the menu. He talked of his family, of his children, and how much he was looking forward to the wedding of Drew and Kristen in June of 2023. But on November 5th, like you, I read the first Caring Bridge announcement of Fred's diagnosis. Plans for a June wedding were scrapped, and a joyous union of Kristen and Drew occurred on November 12th. The value of family takes precedence over all other plans. Kristen is here to share a love letter to her dad that she wrote after waking very early morning, several days before her dad's death.
In my dream, you were taking me to school. We drove down the winding ISM driveway, you in the driver's seat, and me kitty-corner you in the back seat. We had our windows down, and we flew flower seeds out into the cold spring soil. When we got to the parking lot, we must have parked because then we were walking the sidewalk, and I continued to throw my flower seeds until it all turned to cement. We walked past the school and toward the soccer field at the end of the parking lot. I remember telling you that you could continue walking if you wanted on the trail beyond the school. But you were interested in the soccer field, as it had been redone since you'd last been there. Now no longer an open grassy field, but a built-up track now covered in snow. The dream morphed, and I was then there with Mark. It ended soon after, and I awoke. There was a moment or two after, as I lay there between asleep and awake, where all was well. I should like to live in the world of that moment. What I would give to spend the small moments with you, peaceful, without grandeur, absolutely quotidian, just being here, together, alive and well. I cannot bear to imagine a world without you to turn to in moments of doubt or loss or great joy or simply moments. I cannot bear to imagine all that you will not do with me, all that we will not share, all that I cannot tell you and ask you and show you. Sometimes I do not believe that the sun can even continue shining without you, that the earth can continue turning, that life can continue living. I do not want to change if you are not there to see me change and change with me. I do not want to grow to someone you will never know me as. If we ever meet again, what if you do not recognize me? If we ever. That is the scariest phrase I have ever known. I know you will be in the whisper of the breeze, in the rustling of leaves, the buzzing of bees. I know you will be in the shimmering morning dew, in every wave lapping at the shore, in the dust of newly opened magnolia flowers. I know you will be everywhere I go, that you will be a part of everything I see and smell and hear and taste and feel. you will have become the entire universe. It will all be you, in all ways and always. But I will not know you like I have always known you. We will be together, we will be connected, but not in ways I have ever known. And I will miss the connection that was, the togetherness that was. I understand, I think, religion better than I ever have before. I understand why people will believe in anything and everything to justify there being an afterlife, where we will maybe meet again and know each other again in the same way we know each other now. The comfort of believing, of knowing that we will be together again. As a child, I always imagined a grassy field under the bluest of skies, with Grandpa Lewin and Tally and others I do not know, but who somehow love me, all running and smiling and laughing together. There is no greater comfort than the idea that we will know each other again as we knew each other on this plane. In some ways, that is the only thing I can believe. But I know it is different. I believe that when we die, our consciousness disperses into the consciousness of the universe, that we scatter like stardust across everything that is and everything that will be, that we are utterly infused with the universe, and the universe is utterly infused with us, that we are once more inseparable, inextricable. We are everything and we are nothing. And so, I will feel you in all that I do. I will see you and smell you and hear you and taste you. The world is full of starlight. The world is full of you. A different you, but still you. And I will always, always, always miss the you I know now. Your voice, your touch, your humor, your laughter, your footfall, your breath, your thoughts, your advice, your presence. I will always miss you.
It is all so new. It is all so raw. And all we see is the empty space where the light once shone. But that is not how it is in the landscape of the heart. There is no empty space. The light is there. And he still laughs and grapples with ideas and plans and nods wisely with each of us in turn. We are proud to have known him as husband, as dad, brother, uncle, colleague, teacher, friend. His light is bright in the landscape of our hearts.